Aloha and welcome to Aloha Alive, the heartbeat of Hawaii. I'm your host, Dawn O'Brien, and this is my baby sister, Lisa Pakele.
Glad to be here.
She's my Hanai baby sis, but let me do the formal introduction. She is a director at InPeace, which is the Institute for Native Pacific Education and Culture, a nonprofit on a mission to improve the quality of life for Native Hawaiians. Much needed. She helped to launch the Center for Entrepreneurship in Kapolei to help family-owned, community-based businesses to increase their capacity to succeed. In other words, she's a lady boss of boss families. Yes, you slay. You started 20 plus years ago when your son Dylan was just a little baby. You first started at InPeace, and now he's a grown man. You are also co-owner and operator of Pakele Entertainment, who she co-founded this in 2019 with your late husband Kaulana to help support and promote local Hawaiian musicians and artists. Welcome to Aloha Alive.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, some background for us. In 2020, your husband, my brother Kaulana, because we grad Hilo High Vikings, Kaulana Pakele of the Mana'o Company died suddenly of a massive heart attack on the beach in Waianae. It's been 5 years and a long road, sis Lise. But you just celebrated the third Kaulana Bash in Hilo, Hilo. And catch us up, if you would, and tell us how have you been and what's been going on since.
Thank you. Thank you again for having me. It's been an interesting 5 years. And I just, today I'm healthy. And I'm just continuing to breathe and move forward and take steps, navigating this journey on this side of glory. Yeah. And so the kids, the ohana, everybody's well, doing good, thriving in their own areas in life, and just trying to stay really busy.
You're very, very busy, and we're going to get to that. But you touched on a few things, and I just want to kind of zoom in a little bit. You have 4 keiki, right? You had a blended family with Kaulana. And so they're all adults. They're all grown, and they're all doing well. And you have not just one, but two grandbabies, Mo'opuna, your little honey boy, and also wonderful, the older one. What's his name? I'm sorry.
Isaac.
Okay.
Isaac.
Thank you. Now, everyone's doing well, but I want to back up and kind of zoom in a bit. It was what we call a suddenly, where Kaulana passed of a massive heart attack. You had no rhyme or reason. He was in his late 40s. It was right during COVID lockdown and shutdown. And I want to ask you a personal question. How did you overcome the suddenly, especially as you were in the public eye? I remember one day I called you and you, I think were at a grocery store. I won't name which one. And even the cashier, as we all love you, Lisa, we all knew the news. We love Kaulana. You couldn't even go buy groceries without somebody asking you what was going on. So how did you overcome?
The first thing is I just kept breathing, like the choice to keep breathing and just not slip out into, not out of this world. But yeah, the choice to keep breathing. I did some things to help keep me healthy.
Yes.
Just the people who surrounded us, that was a huge thing. We're super blessed. We had so much love and support, which was very huge. Kaulana lived such a huge life, a bold and loud life. And so silence was really not a thing in our world. And so it was, even though it was, a lot of people that came around and it could be overwhelming, and it was overwhelming, it also was very helpful to help us keep hearing and feeling the love around us. So that was very helpful to keep moving forward. And so I was selective though with a few people that could just enter my space because it was just so I was just really fragile, and so just making sure I had just some key people around me to speak life and encouragement and just help me to keep moving forward and to get up sometimes when I just didn't want to get up. And so you were definitely one of those key people that was a huge thing, is just having a couple, it's not a lot, but just a couple key people around you in your life to help you navigate and help you navigate. That was a helpful thing. And another thing for me personally was a huge thing was just removing myself from any kind of social media.
Wow.
And just that was a huge thing. I was off social media for almost 4 years.
Wow.
And I feel like that helps to keep me healthy, and just there's so much noise out there. So that was a huge thing to help me.
Those are two massive key things that you just said. And thank you, sis, that you said you did. You really called a number of your sacred circle, is what I call it, where you have a certain amount of, let's say, for me, it's 2 or 3 friends who really sustain us. Because it's interesting that there's a scripture in the Bible that you and I love that held you together also. And it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou, O Lord, art with me. But it's also the humans, that Jesus walking it out in human form with your friends. And you had some of those sisters really close to you. Now, you also stopped with the social media, which is why I quoted that scripture, because you walked through the valley. And a lot of mental health and wellness nowadays talks about how we manage our emotions in a trauma is actually allowing yourself to feel and process. Was that part of shutting off the distraction?
That was everything. Everything for me is I had to just peace was a huge thing for me in terms of protecting my peace and choosing to protect it. Like only I could do it.
Yes.
Only I could choose who's around me and what I do and what I read and music that I put into my head, and just, reading the word or getting the word. For me, faith is everything. Like, believing in the word and
Yes.
and praise and worship is a huge thing for me in my journey, in my life. And that would really, honestly, that was the only thing that could get me through.
Yes, it was big. And I love what you're saying, because there's 2 things I've learned with you is protect your peace. And I know you get that from your place where you worship, which is Pastor Art and Kuna Sepulveda at the Word of Life. Thank you for being a wonderful spiritual mom and dad to Lise, especially through that time. I remember we were shooting a series at the time during 2020 called Aloha. And you folks were scheduled, Brother Kaulana died. He passed to glory on Monday. And you were scheduled to have Pakele Mele on Aloha that Friday. It was every Friday, to help sustain the spirit of aloha in the state of Hawaii and to make people laugh, hence Aloha. And when I saw you Monday, brother had passed from that heart attack out on the beach. And I came to the house Tuesday. I'm sorry, sis, you're a stunning, beautiful, drop dead, gorgeous woman. But your face looked like you gotten beaten up, like a puffy, like just a big old baseball. It was so puffy. Your eyes were almost closed. You were crying so hard. And by Friday, it wasn't much better, but you put a smile on it and you put aloha in your heart. And Pastor Kuna was right there leading with the praise and worship. And so 2 things I'm hearing from you as you walk through a sudden death of your significant other, your husband, was number 1, watch who you're walking with. And number 2 was to cut off distraction and really walk through that. It was overwhelming. You said that. But a third thing I know about you that's not been spoken is you also taught your son, Dylan, we close the back door. We don't allow any practices or being in a place where we're letting in confusion or division into this family. And that can be something as simple as a lot of drinking that could happen in a home. And I'm not casting any stones on anyone for that or judging, because I've already walked through my place with alcohol. But you said there's not going to be alcohol here. Would that be something you're comfortable with sharing? Sorry, I led
Yeah,
right into that.
no. I'm sober free for 15 years, and that's our
Wow.
own choice, right? Everybody has their choice to make, and so
Yes.
this is my journey in
Yes.
healing and restoring and restoration, and it's my journey, and so it started before Kaulana passed. We both decided. Well, he decided first to be sober free, and he walked
He
it out.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Through some circumstances. But in everybody's journey, right, you have
Absolutely.
the choice that you want to live out. And so,
Right.
navigating the entertainment industry and
Without drinking and without
yeah.
drugs, and to be one of the top most recognized bands, beloved for decades, right? And I remember his last post on social media. He was correcting people for littering. Remember that? And
yes.
Brother Man is one of the most aloha people. Like, he literally called me out of the blue one day, and Kaulana, he's like, Don. And I'm like, yes, I heard you the first time. Aloha, Kaulana. And he goes, is your cousin in Hilo, Sean O'Brien? Is that your cousin? Huh? Because I went to school at St. Joseph's with our at the Christian Catholic school with Sean. He's a cardinal. And I go, yeah, that's my cousin. And he goes, you have his number. Can I call him? And I'm like,
Sounds like him.
Random. You're going to call. And he did. He called my cousin, Sean Patrick O'Brien, and said, we went to Catholic school together. Of course, Sean remembers him because he's world famous, Kaulana Pakele. But he was so full of aloha. But I love that brother kept a hot red line because it means we malama aina. We malama each other. We aloha kia kua. He knew that he knew that he knew certain things. So thank you for allowing us to flashback small kind with that. Now, you shared those really key tips on how to come through a suddenly. Thank you. Watching the sacred circle around you. You were also going to your place of worship a lot. In fact, now your daughter Kamale is a worship leader.
Yes.
Right?
She just came back from Bogota. They had a mission trip. And so it's, as we navigate our own journey and our own walks and wherever God's leading us, Kamale, she found her place in wanting to do praise and worship.
Just like her dad.
Yeah. So I'm super blessed to watch her grow and as God uses her and grows and
Huge.
molds her.
She's on stage. Well, she's at the altar almost every Sunday when she's in town at Word of Life. We can see
Yes.
Kamalele. She's really growing into her own. And then Dylan, catch us up on my godson, Dylan
Yes.
Pakele. Oh, wait, is this his CD I have right here? Because Auntie's so 80s, 90s. I got to have my CD. Here it is. You put out this album in the last 5 years, Faith.
Yeah, so that was really a journey. This whole journey has been a journey. But in the beginning, Dylan was recording with Kaulana, their first song. And after he passed to glory, it was like no music, no nothing, didn't want to do anything, really, honestly.
Well, it was such a shock for everyone.
And just like, I don't know, I just didn't want to. But through lots of love and encouragement and Dylan asking and saying that he wanted to, I had some key people around me helping me navigate, which was one, Danny Kennedy and Siobhan Kennedy, and just helping me navigate.
Danny
I
and
know.
Siobhan, the backbone of the Mana'o Company and wonderful people, family of faith. I just love Danny and Siobhan.
I know. I love them so much. They're a key part of the tribe.
Yes.
So they really, really helped me navigate that space to take one step forward in supporting Dylan in moving forward with continuing to record.
Girl, they were there before KP passed. I mean, KP was on the band with Danny and of course Sean Na'auau and other guys, but Danny is always the one, right? He's that straight line, always there for you. Before KP passed to victory, he was there at both of the celebrations of life. We had one here on Oahu. Then Danny and Siobhan were there at both of the celebrations of life for brother, and this is his light with his guitar. If anybody is noticing, it's got the tattoo detail on it, but this was his favorite guitar that now his son is using. Boom, shakalaka. Thank you for that gift. I keep it right in my home, but I brought it down special for us. But Danny and Siobhan were at both services, the celebration of life here on Oahu and then one on the Big Island. And he's still helping now with Dylan's work.
All the things. So he really encouraged me in the beginning to he said something around the point of you need to find the things that keep you breathing, keep you moving, keep you going. And I really didn't know what that was. But when Dylan asked, he wanted to record again and get into the studio, what do parents do? Just support our kids, even when we
Yes.
don't feel like it, or we might not,
When
it's,
you're
I
not
didn't
in
feel
that
like
space.
it, but we dig down deep. And so that's really what happened. And so as we navigated the journey, because this is a journey, we're on a journey.
Absolutely, yes.
And as we navigated the journey of bringing this album together, we didn't have that. He didn't have the songs. He didn't have the concept. He didn't have we didn't have the guitar with the etching. It really was a act of faith, just walking it through.
Well, and you keep using the word journey, and I love that. And I have God bumps because this ain't chicken skin. We ain't created in the image of no chicken. We're created in the image of the Holy Spirit. But you use the word journey, and you took one step at a time. I've heard faith defined as such that it's taking one step at a time, even when you can't see the whole staircase.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of us might look at a finished product like this and say, well, he's got 6 beautiful songs, Faith, faith, right? From Forgive Me to Heaven in the Sky, which he co-sang with his father. It's beautiful to hear it. And then you also have Brother Fiji on the album. I mean, there's so much faith that went into this that you are saying you didn't have the guitar. You didn't have songs written. You would walk into the studio, as I recall, Momager Lisa, and you would be praying outside for it to come together because certain things were missing, and God would provide right there, Jehovah Jireh.
And it reminds me of Proverbs 16:9, where we can make our plans, but he directs our steps. And that's really what was happening as we were going through the project and it unfolding over, a year and a half of it coming together, and the ideas and the encouragement and the praying. And Imua, we first were with Langa Sevilla, which we're so blessed to be able to have recorded with him and had that time
before he too passed to glory.
Yeah, so
wow. And then from Langa you went to
Imua Garza, which he literally was heaven sent. I think he was just perfect for Dylan and me, because it's like navigating this space without Kaulana and not knowing what questions to ask or what to do, or like how. I mean, I'm just a praying mama. I'm just a mama supporting her son.
Girl, and God shows up and shows out. He shows off for you, because if you don't know Imua Garza, he is the Amadeus Mozart of Hawaii.
Yeah.
I have described him as such since I've worked with him on missions, in ministry. He's also a pastor at C4, but he is the mastermind creator in the image of God the Creator at Zao Recording Studios. So you work with him now.
It's been amazing. He's literally handpicked for us to walk this journey out, to finish the Faith EP, and continuing in the project that Dylan's working on right now.
Okay. What are we talking about here? So see, this is more of what's gone on in 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I really look at what God is doing in your life, sis, and we get together and we just have lunch, and I just sit and look at my baby sis and try to have space, hold space for us. And it's been a precious treasure to me to get close, because really, honestly, I didn't feel like I knew you that closely. And I knew brother because we went to Hilo High together. Vikings, got to throw it out there, because he would always torture the Kamehameha schools. Graduate here with our Hilo High Vikings public school. But I didn't know you as well until the day after, when God sent me to the house. Now we sit and we do lunch times, we do birthdays, we do a lot of big moments together. But God has brought you to such a place. And that's why I wanted you to come onto Aloha Alive, the heartbeat of Hawaii. You may not feel like you have something to say to other people, but just in the last 5 days, I sat with a sister at Queen's Hospital who suddenly lost her kane, her partner. And it was in a tragic way. He's in his 30s. And I said to you as we walked in, and you're so humble Hawaiian, I tell you. But I am neither Hawaiian nor am I humble. So I said, you have so much to share. In fact, I'm going to ask if she could share a word. But God works in the valley of the shadow of death. And sometimes we don't even walk with him through that valley. He carries us.
He
right?
has been carrying. He has literally been carrying me. I feel like I am walking now on, I can walk. But I would say, honestly, for the first 3 years, at least, maybe, yeah, I was being carried. And so I will be forever grateful. The Lord just has carried me, brought together divine connections like you, and a small tribe around me to help carry me. I just felt like I couldn't do it. And in the valley, when you're just like, you just feel like you just can't, his love, his grace, his mercy helps you through, and it just shows that you can with the faith. EP, the project now, the Kaulana Bash.
I
Yeah.
mean, and you've developed a recording studio at
Yeah.
your own home, which
Yeah.
was part of the vision that you and brother had in making Pakele Entertainment, was to open up more opportunities for a lot of the Native people and artists from the West Side, because there was nowhere to go.
That was always his heart, to always help people and figure out how to help. And, as we navigate the journey, I'm helping Dylan, but I'm calling in the reinforcements and tapping into the experts and our circle of people that can help, like Danny, like
Yes.
Fiji, like, there's the entertainment community has been amazing. Kaulana, the kids were taking voice lessons with her.
At the, of course,
Yeah,
Kapena School of Music, which is at Windward Mall, and that's another family that came into your life
And that was even
immediately.
before. I mean, they were taking vocal lessons before she even had that. And then they were blessed to be a recipient of a scholarship after,
Yes.
to go through. But she's been amazing. Kimmy A. Minor took the kids in through Haku Collective and
Wow.
really just surrounded them with so much love,
Yeah.
but also opportunities at the same time, because with the love, without like direction, it kind of can get like, oh, okay, I feel love, but like now what? Like, what do I do?
Right. And see, again, it goes back to that journey step by step. And Lisa, last I checked, in 2020, you had never produced an album before, an EP. You had never helped to record or write a song. Not that you've done that, but you were there during the process. And many times you would say, hi, I've never been in this place before, but we are walking through. You said, I'm breathing, I'm walking, I'm protecting my peace. And so to hear you talking about, you did have like Kapena School of Music before it was there, was helping to mentor Kamale and Dylan, that you had also, then it became the water company came in as a sponsor. You got a scholarship. There's a lot of things that we don't see when we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, because we really are just trying to wake up and survive and breathe and walk. But on the side, looking back, do you see how God moved mountains for you?
It's crazy. It's so much. I mean, everything he brought together. I see all of it as I was preparing to talk with you today. I was reminded about all the things that God has done and brought together, and his grace, like, and just divine connections, opportunities. But he can do these things, but he needs us to. He needs our faith to be able to step. And it says faith as a mustard seed. I really just had like this really, 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 really little. Like, it was so little, it's almost not there. And he took that and he helped me. I mean, you know me, and you know that I never, no recording, no concert space, everything I'm doing on the professional level at InPeace. It's like, it's none of me. Like, it's impossible. Like, I could never do all of these things. But
like open up a brand new center for entrepreneurship. So impressive. We can come out there. We can have a meeting space, a workspace, network. And I'm like, Lisa, I thought you just had a new office, but this is like an office for the whole Aina, the whole island chain community.
Yeah,
right?
God, it's God.
You
leading.
walk it out, sis.
You
and then
walk
you
it out.
host these makeke, right? And then you also have, is it the young entrepreneur cohorts that you've been hosting with teenagers who have companies,
Yes.
and you mentor them. You have And I just have to tell you, family, let me just stop and pause and look right at you, because it's going to feel awkward that I'm bragging on my Hanai little sister. But this is the power of God walking it out with you. And to recap what you just said, you felt like you only had a faith the size of almost invisible mustard seed.
Yes.
It might have been invisible. Like, that's how small it was. But I will tell you, on the flip side of that, because I've been at the house for Thanksgiving. I've been at the house for family parties. I've been at the house for lunch with her. And one time at Thanksgiving, we were 2 years out from brother going on to victory. And I had the kids standing around, and, they all look like teenagers to me. And I'm like, Dylan, go get your little friends. Dylan is like 6'5". Okay. I don't know how tall he is. Super tall Hawaiian man. He's 27 years old. His friends are also grown-ups, but he goes and he gets the friends with Kamale. And I asked them one question: what are you grateful for this Thanksgiving? And 3 of them, including your 2, Kamale and Dylan, said, I am thankful for Mom and for her strength. We wouldn't have been able to do this. We wouldn't have come this far. And you're saying that in 3 years you were still in shock and overwhelmed, but your children were talking about you and your strength. Now, something I know that, and I'm going to go this way with you, and it's not necessarily on the questions that I gave you. Don't get nervous. I know a little bit of your story before Kaulana. You were pregnant in high school, and you had some childhood trauma of your own growing up in a single parent family. And we know some of the issues of abandonment and other things that come with childhood trauma. You kept the baby. We have Chantil, and we thank God for Chantil, who has your little
saved my
mo'opuna.
life.
She saved your life. But at that time, we were all in high school, and this was, you graduated 91. That kind of wasn't a thing. Yeah. So you kept the baby and you grew strong, and you had to leave your home. You did move in with that gentleman, the father of your child. And then you haven't ever looked back, and you never asked for help. Do you think that played a part in how you were able to be resilient and overcome with this suddenly?
Yes. I do. I think, sorry, my brain just got messy. So much. I come from a loving family, right? I have a lot of support, and I made some choices. And in navigating life at that point as a teenage parent, you just think the world's ending, and I just had to press in, and I knew I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to, be a high school dropout, or not, be on the system, or to be on the system and not go to college. I just didn't want to be a statistic. And so I just made some choices that, maybe I could have done differently, but I moved away and decided to go to college with having my daughter. That really shifted the narrative of my whole entire life. I mean, that's where I met Kaulana, and I graduated UH-Hilo. But as a single parent, I graduated from high school and college with a lot of support. But as a teenage parent going to college, I had to dig deep and look for resources and support, and not do a lot of things. I mean, I didn't do my nails. I didn't go shopping. I didn't do all the fun things. But the fun things is just with my daughter and being a mom and going to college. But I feel like it did prepare me for this time in my life to be able to dig deep again, to look internally, because I'm the only one who can make a decision to get up or to eat when I didn't want to eat, or to, let everything just go to shambles, like just not pay bills or not go back to work, or I'm the only one who could make the decisions to be better for me, myself. I had to be healthy.
Yes.
That was my number one goal. My boss had asked at that time, what did I want? And I said, I just want to be healthy.
Yes.
Because if I'm not, then I can't be there for my kids. I just couldn't get out of bed, and I wanted to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, be healthy for I had a grandson at the time. So just be healthy for him. And when he came over, I didn't want to be crying all the time. So it's like making those choices for yourself to be healthy,
Right.
so that you can then be there for others.
And that's amidst you had to find the passcodes for his cell phone, for the computer.
That was a nightmare.
You had to find the paperwork for, right? Everything was being processed. And mind you, this was amidst May 2020. Everything was closed. I was there when you got the call. Do we take him to the mortuary, to the morgue? We can't, there were so many things that couldn't be done with a body at that time. Thank you, Lisa, for looking from that time when you were a pregnant teenager, not wanting to be a statistic. And there's power to saying that, because you didn't let yourself be sidelined. You overcame powerfully with a tiny little baby. And the key word, and then it went forward to when KP passed in 2020. But back to when you were that teenager, the key word I heard there in that part of the journey was resources. You found people to come alongside. And of course, we love your dad, your mom. They're both wonderful. There was a divorce there, but your dad is almost 50 years on the police force, right? Law enforcement. Uncle Val and Auntie Vina, your stepmom. You have half siblings, right, who came in strong. Of course, you have your older sister from the same mom, Kim. And so there was an extended ohana that came around, but resources and tribe. You said it when the 2020 tragedy happened, but you also just said it there. You had a tribe. And when I look at your life now with InPeace, as well as with Pakele Entertainment, and pretty much everything that you're doing, you find resources for the Lahui. I didn't actually know what that word meant. Okay, so it's a Hawaiian word. Can you tell us, what does Lahui mean? Because the first time I heard it really was from you. And I went to UH Hilo with her husband. We were, he didn't actually attend classes at college, but he attended every party there was at this college. But you recently, a few years ago, said supporting the Lahui. And it caught my ear. What does that mean? Because I kind of want to always perpetuate culture and teach the language here on Aloha Alive.
Lahui, everything for me that it means is just community, ohana, together. Like, we're stronger together. We're not made to do this life alone. And when we, retreat and we pull ourselves back from being with others, then we're not meant to be there. That's when the depression comes in. The mental health is a huge thing that I didn't really experience any kind of mental health for me wasn't like a thing. Like, I just didn't think depression. I really didn't think depression was a real thing.
I don't think a lot of us who grew up in the 80s, 90s, we weren't as aware of it as we are now.
Yeah.
Thank you for
saying that. I would just
that.
be like, get up. You can get up and make a
tough
choice.
it out.
It's just tough it out.
Right.
That's how I grew up. Like, just get up, wipe your dust off your knees and
pick
keep
yourself
moving.
up by your
No
bootstraps
crying.
and keep marching forward. No crying, big fanatting. I mean, we can use a lot of terms how we grew up, but that didn't really work. Like, how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
So to give yourself space and awareness to have mental wellness, right?
And so that's, for me, the Lahui just is there we support, we kako one another, support one another. And there's a olelo no eao that says, I'm just going to read it.
Yay.
A'ohe hana nui ke alu ia. And it means no task is too big when done together. And life can be so overwhelming. There's so many things happening and happening super, super fast.
Yes.
And just like tasks is like one after another, and it can just feel so overwhelming. But like today feels so overwhelming for me, but God gives us a Lahui, gave me you to do this task together.
Yes.
And it's better together. Like, it's better together,
Always
supporting
better
one
together.
another.
And on my side of the table, it's overwhelming to have a podcast, to be wanting to perpetuate our host culture. I'm not Hawaiian, but I know it is part of the key that Auntie Pilahi Paki said in the 21st century. The whole world's going to be searching for peace. And in fact, we are a world looking at world war, but we search for peace, and the key to peace is aloha. So they're going to look to us. Thank you for being there for me on this one. Like, I needed you to be here as much as you needed me. Recently, another example of the Lahui was we had a graduation party and on Kauai. I'm here on Oahu. We're centered here in Honolulu. And my sister said, Don, I know you're going to help us find the palaka print so that our family can all be matching at this family party. It's kind of a Hawaiian thing. And I'm like, I don't even wear palaka. What are you talking about? What? I don't wear gingham is the English word for it. And so I was praying and the Lord said, lease. And I went, oh my gosh, lease knows all of these small businesses and these families. I text you and within a minute you texted right back and said, oh, hui palaka girl. And they sell it over here at Ward and you can go to Namea, Hawaii. So is that a good example
Yes,
of Lahui?
absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
we're gonna
being
give
there for me.
give that business a shout out. Kuhui Palako, Max Mukai is the owner, and just through relationships, I could just text the owner,
Right.
and he texts me right back, and I just text him today too for something else that we're supporting, working together. But yeah, that's the Lahui and community and being able to tap into our people
To help one
to
another.
help one another.
And I
Did they
often
get the
say that.
palaka?
Yes, and they looked amazing, super zhuzh, super bougie. But here's where I was saying it's about resources, and the resources are people.
Yes.
And we are a small island chain with huge hearts. And so one of the things I learned early, I had a mentor tell me, Dawn, don't burn bridges on an island. And that makes a lot of sense because if you fire somebody and you burn a bridge and you burn somebody or you trash them on social media or you bad talk them or gossip, it will come back to you. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a God Barons guarantee in the Bible that says what you sow, you shall reap, and that anything that's whispered in the house will be shouted from the rooftops, especially on an island. So we also, and I hear a lot of voices saying this now, always support local. Because if we don't support locals, there won't be any more locals to support. We're seeing a mass exodus, especially of Native Hawaiians off of our own islands, right? So thank you for helping with that. And here's where I'm going to shift over to InPeace. I love InPeace because you work there and also because I love many of the people. How does it help local people and local businesses?
InPeace is amazing. So it's a Native Hawaiian organization, nonprofit that supports our people, our Lahui community, through a place of empowerment and strengthening. And so there's 11 programs under InPeace. They've been around we just celebrated 30 years. We're going into the 31st year of celebration. So amazing.
Wow, that's a good long time.
Yeah.
That's faithfulness, Lisa.
Yeah. And I've been blessed to work there for 23 years. I actually started 25 years because the first 2 years I was a parent in a program, Keiki Steps. And so I really am that parent that was empowered through their program, Keiki Steps. And then there's opportunity to work. And 23 years later, now I oversee one of the 11 programs, which is called Center for Entrepreneurship, supporting small businesses. And that really is supporting a person in their journey of business, whether it's their idea phase or going international and everything in between. But it comes back to the partnerships and resources that are out there because I'm not the expert. We're still building out Pakele Entertainment and KP Studios. And what does that mean? I'm still a small business owner trying to navigate our space. And so my role in this is really I'm a connector and I'm a huge cheerleader.
Yes,
I will just encourage, in the journey because it's tough. It's really tough.
Yes, especially for young small businesses starting out and trying to get launched.
Yeah.
There's a whole process to that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that it's happening in your life with Pakele Entertainment, but then it's happening for the rest of the people you're helping at InPeace, right?
Yeah. So really that journey and connecting them to the different resources, connecting these small businesses to the resources that are out there. Nice. And so I really develop a lot of partnerships. And that's really what the program has been built around, in connecting the small businesses to the resources that are out there, and then cheerleading them, holding their hand through the process until they overcome each step, like getting their GE license, getting their product, taking it to market, expansion, all the things
social
that happen,
media,
social media,
website,
marketing, yes.
right? Photography, even. You have Nick there helping with those things,
Yeah.
and networking. And I always found out that there are 4 true treasures that we all have as human beings. That includes your time, how you spend your time, your talent. So what is your God-given talent that you do? What is your treasure, which is money? And the last one that I added was tribe. And you include all 4 of those when you're helping other people walk through that process. How can people get more information about InPeace?
Sure. So you can find us on all social media platforms, inpeacehawaii.org, or visit us at our website, inpeace.org. And all of our programs are up there. And through that, you can get connected through email me at lisap@inpeace.org. But yeah, and it's really that journey.
Lisa P for Pakele at inpeace.org. And we'll have that information in the show notes as well as there on the screen. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to highlight it.
And just supporting somebody in their journey, and whatever that could look like. And so it's really exciting. We're going there's a Ho'omau event coming up and a Made in Hawaii festival.
Oh,
and
hey.
so those are 2 huge events coming up that support, Ho'omau specifically supports Native Hawaiian businesses, and it's the journey again, the Lahui, the community, supporting one another.
Right.
As you navigate your own journey.
Yes.
And whatever that is.
And what I love about it, and I've said often, especially when it was 2020, and a lot of us were learning what is hybrid learning or what is distance learning. A lot of us were learning new systems, how to do business in this new world. And I would say, as much as we think we have a certain COVID curve, we are all doing the same learning curve. We're learning together. It's a kako thing.
It's a kako thing. It is a kako thing. And a huge thing in not having to know everything before you start or before you do anything. It's like starting where you're at and growing as you're going. And the main thing is just start, whatever that is. And so even, through the Faith EP, it's like I didn't want to go back into the studio, but it's like just start. And we have a project. Now we're doing a legacy project that honors Kaulana and puts Dylan on his continued path in his own, journey of music. That it's a huge project. That we didn't know how to do.
The Legacy Project, which has some pretty big name artists.
Yeah.
Can we drop at least 2 names or 3?
Yeah, sure. So Dylan released the 3rd song off this project. It'll be a full length 10 at least 10 song project, which we're at about 7 songs. But he dropped 3 songs already. The last one on my birthday.
Hey.
And so and we're going to continue the journey. But there's working with key bands that were very special to and Kaulana worked it with. So we have High Risk is a band that they did Chillaxin, that song Chillaxin. Pacific Blue has did a collaboration on there with a fun song that's going to come out. Of course, Mana'o Company.
Thank you.
We have a special song that Fiji had wrote for Kaulana and I back 15 years ago. And Dylan's he is remaking the song. It's very special, and we'll have a guest artist on that song.
Oh my gosh, I got total God bumps everywhere.
Yeah, there's so much
such
special things.
Song.
There's so
it's
much
a love
special
song,
things.
if you didn't guess already.
So much special things. We just confirmed Sudden Rush will be partnering on one of the songs.
Woo!
That we just got confirmation.
Hilo.
So got to give a shout out to Kwai Chang, who wrote the song, and then Shane from Sudden Rush. Dylan will be collaborating with him, and so
still going after all these years. You know what? We were back in college.
Holy
we were
smokes.
partying when Keola was inventing Hawaiian rap back in the day, and we were just talking about that at your birthday party. We're like, girl, remember we were just like there at the party, and he started doing that, and we're like, oh, okay. And he's like, it's now making this huge resurgence, Hawaiian rap. So we were there when it started.
Yeah.
Wait, did that just age us?
Now him and Kaulana are rapping in heaven.
Amen.
Together, So.
And one thing I want to throw in there as you're talking about the Legacy Project, but a quick insertion is she came, and I love my brother Kaulana. I've known him since I was in high school. And we say rest in victory. Rest in victory, KP, was where we landed. Not rest in love, because of course we all say that, we all know that. But it was part of the redemption for the absolute sheer shock. I mean, it made not just local news, it made national news. It even went worldwide. Kaulana Pakele, lead singer of Mana'o Company, dies of a heart attack. And there can be a lot of, when you just hear that, you land in that pit of pain. Grief is a thief and a robber completely. But we, as the people of God, Keakua Mauloa, as Kaulana was a worship leader of Keakua, we land in the promises of God. Amen. We land in the goodness of God. And that's where God gave us rest and victory. Yeah. Because it turned our heads down from the pit and the grave and the grief, and we looked up, because he is seated at the right hand of Jesus, seated at the right hand of the Father, and they're worshiping.
Yeah. And so I thanks for bringing that up, because in my devotion time over the past 5 years, I think maybe about my third year going into my fourth year, God placed on my heart, as I was working through some, I was overcoming a dark place again. He just reminded me, he replaced the rest with rejoice. And he reminded me that Kaulana is rejoicing in victory. And he's like singing, and he's just like rejoicing. He's at the seat of the Father, at the, rejoicing with Jesus. And it's
sheer
just like
joy, pure joy. And if you knew Kaulana, or you know somebody who is just buckle loose for broke, just this boy could party like he loved the Lord. Yes. He knew the joy of the Lord as his Superman, superpower, super strength. I mean, it's just, so you're right, sis.
So it gave me, it literally in that moment strengthened me. And that in Nehemiah 1:8, right? The joy of the Lord is my strength. Yes. And so it just reminded me, it literally encouraged me, refreshed me. And walking into my fourth and now my fifth year, I really feel like I'm in this place of strengthening and aligning with purpose, intentionally aligning with purpose. And that was because the word of God, my tribe, and just a love and support, continued love and support. With the last Kaulana Bash, it just really was all of God. It was pretty tough, that one, to bring out, but just God reminded me that he's got me. I'm moving forward. Some fun highlights is we'll release the Legacy Project.
Yes,
Dylan will start on his project, where we will be recording in New Zealand.
What?
And then we're gonna.
Do you need godmother cheerleader there as well? I love Aotearoa,
and
New
that's
Zealand.
the resources. That's the resources and connections.
Hallelujah.
And we're gonna expand Kaulana Bash island wide. And so those are just some little fun things that God's doing.
Peeks
And
for previews of what God's doing in your near future, the miracles.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. Last couple of questions. What is aloha to you? We always ask our guests here on Aloha Alive, because we want to always have the heartbeat, but we can't beat it if we don't know it. So what is aloha to you, Lisa? Hui hui pakele.
If I just had to say one word, I would say grace. Like, aloha is grace to me, like in everything. The way that we can show aloha is having grace to others, for others. In life, there's so much going on. Yeah. And we never know what someone's going through the happy smile face, or the crying face, or whatever it is. We really, truly don't know. And I feel like, to just having aloha is just having grace and walking it out, by just like holding someone's hand, buying a coffee, sitting with somebody, bringing a lei, bringing some food, going to the movies, just whatever that is. If somebody hurts us for whatever reason, we can choose grace, and that's covering it with aloha. And maybe one day they'll say sorry for maybe they hurt us, maybe they won't, but we have the choice to just malama our own heart so that we can cover it in grace, so that we can move forward. Because if we don't, and we allow that to the
bitterness to come in, the unforgiveness,
and it just gets like yucky. So if I just had to say, one word with a little explanation, it would be grace. And that's how to show aloha.
Love that. Grace. And often in the Bible, when we read the New Testament, the Apostle Paul wrote half of it, and he would always start off with greetings in God's grace, and he would end with, and I impart grace and peace to you. So thank you for that, because like the Aloha culture in Hawaii, we say aloha to say hello, aloha as we leave. So a big part of aloha is grace, much needed. Last question. Who is your aloha hero, either past or present, somebody who lives true, pure aloha, and why?
When you gave me, you're graceful enough to give me some questions in advance. And so I was thinking about that and praying about that. And the only one that kept coming back to me is Kaulana. So I don't want to cry, but he truly exemplified aloha in just his vibrant life and the life that he lived. And I think about legacy as we work on the legacy project. It's everything that we have, like everything that's coming back to us today, now, from resources to love to donations to whatever it is. It's because the life Kaulana lived and that the impact that he made, all of that is coming back to us. And I also think about the words that people spoke to us and shared about what Kaulana meant to them. And it was never like, it wasn't anything like it wasn't about the hokus. It wasn't about like nothing else. All of it was how he made them feel. And I know there's somebody that says something, I forget, something about it's not what you do or say, but it's how you make people feel. And
Maya Angelou.
Yeah, Maya Angelou.
People will almost never remember what you said. They may not remember what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And you're right, that was Kaulana.
That was Kaulana. And
he made you feel aloha in the purest, truest form. And the neat thing about my brother, if I can help brag on that, and I love that you picked him as your aloha superhero, because I thought, man, I don't know who she's going to pick, but it better be my brother. He was a man of vision and passion. He lived both really well. I remember once he called me when I was on the radio, and he said, Don, like, I heard you the first few times. But he said, I just see God. You know what God told me? He said, we're going to do a massive Christian concert at the Waikiki Shell. And I was like this little podunk girl from a little podunk town, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? I rebuke you, Kaulana. And I hung up on him, and he just kept calling me and saying, Don, like he didn't get why I couldn't see the same vision that God had given him. And his vision is still reaching lives and impacting and influencing people for the true heart of Hawaii, which is aloha. In fact, it's the song that we use as the intro and outro of Aloha Alive. It's ALOHA, a little aloha in our day. This has been our time talking story and just having a heartbeat, breathing, walking, and space with Lisa Pakele. Lisa hui Pakele. Lisa hui Pakele. She loves that song. She loves when people from Hilo High sing to her. Just walk up and do it. No, she doesn't. No. This is why she keeps me around. Or the other thing I like to do is Lise. Close
the door.
Kaulana used to do the same. The Lord promises that my grace is sufficient for you, that his power is made perfect in weakness. And if there's one thing that Lisa Hui Pakele and Mr. Rest in Victory, Rejoice in Victory, Kaulana Pakele would give us is that. He also gave us, he loved the scripture out of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which says what?
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but acknowledge him in all your ways and he shall direct your steps.
Family, the Lord is with you. The Spirit of God is the Spirit of Aloha. And we know that Kaulana's living legacy that continues to this day through Pakele Entertainment, through InPeace, through Lisa and the children and the Mo'opuna and generations to come is the heart of a beating aloha, the heartbeat of aloha. We love you and aloha.